As health professionals, we have certain responsibilities. Once you achieve a certain level of education, you've put the work in, and now you have a degree in a health field. Maybe you go on and you get your credential in that health field or another health field. The degree and the credentials come with responsibility. You become a health professional. And actually, as a student, you have responsibility too, as a health student. So our responsibility is to be evidence-based. There's two sides to that. So we have to advocate for evidence-based health information from ourselves when we post content, when we post to social media, when we talk to people, maybe counsel people. We have a responsibility to remain evidence-based. But we also are responsible for actively correcting misinformation when we see it. So for example, if I happen to come across one of my students posting a tweet about how milk is somehow toxic, I would be responsible to respond to them and correct them with information, because what they're spreading is misinformation. And if I don't do it as a credentialed health professional, then that information just spreads and becomes even more powerful. One of the things I want you to pay attention to when you're looking around and reading things and hearing things, I want you to watch out for buzzwords, because very often you can tell that you are about to be given misinformation if they use these buzzwords freely. They might be trying to sell you something, or they might just be not very informed. And so a lot of people throw these around, and it tells me that they either are trying to sell me something or they just don't know. So some of these are obvious when you see, things saying, oh, it'll effortlessly melt away the fat, or if you eat this way, it'll just melt away body fat. That's not true. It's not evidence-based. I do hear people, even students and sometimes even health professionals, saying things like, I don't eat a diet with chemicals, or I avoid chemicals. And to me, what that signals is that they don't actually know what they're talking about, because you can't avoid chemicals. Chemicals are everywhere, literally everywhere. Everything is made of chemicals. And so a true health professional would be more specific. Which chemical do you want to avoid, or which chemical are you avoiding? Maybe they're avoiding trans fats in their foods. Maybe they're avoiding BPA in their water bottles. But we need to be precise, because there are chemicals that are essential. Other buzzwords, when the detox, the cleanse, the reboot, these are very intoxicating to consumers because it just sounds kind of nice. A lot of us feel the need sometimes to kind of step back and cleanse our system. Maybe we've had kind of a crazy weekend, we're eating a lot of junk food, and it really appeals to us, this idea that somehow we can cleanse our body or detox our body. But in truth, you can't. Your body detoxes itself, and there's no special diet that will tell it to detox or make it detox. A lot of times people will say, well, it worked because I was on the toilet all day. Well, you just made yourself go to the toilet all day. There's nothing about that that's detoxing your body. You have a liver, you have kidneys, and your skin is also responsible for helping to keep you free of toxins. Now, certainly if you eat healthier and you avoid things like cigarette smoke, you can decrease your toxic load, and this helps your body to be more efficient and perhaps healthier overall. But there is no such thing as a detox diet or a cleanse. There might be other buzzwords as you look around and you read things. I've just listed a few of them here, but start paying attention to the buzzwords that the charlatans use. I like this example that these study tools were created by a chemist he's a chemistry teacher in Australia, James Kennedy, and he made these posters of a lot of different healthy foods and listing out the chemical content of these foods. The reason these are so helpful is because it really helps to show people that chemicals have scary names, if you happen to be somebody who is not in the field of chemistry, you probably don't realize that things like, let's see, leucine, lysine, tryptophan, linoleic acid, all of these things are in a banana. And they sound scary if you're scared of chemicals, but they're not scary. They're just the chemical name for various things. Leucine and lysine you might recognize as amino acids. And so this is why we don't say the broad term of chemicals, because some chemicals are very useful and we need them. And there's nothing to be scared of. They just sound kind of complicated because we don't speak in chemical language. But we need to be more precise and talk about which specific chemical has been shown to be beneficial if we eliminate it or cut down on it.